edition of ONME Sunday Mornings. This is a special edition this morning because myself, Julie Dudley Najib, along with
Lennis Najib,
we were at the Veterans Day Parade in Fresno, California that we are bringing you this morning. So if you missed it, you'll at least get to see the excerpts of those parade. But what makes this day even more special is that we're going to be doing a interview.
Yes, we're going to be interviewing Master Chief Othan Mondy. He's retired at the U.S. Navy. So that's who we're going to be interviewing today.
Be able to see those achievements that he has made, being that first Master Chief, Mondy, who was the first black Master Chief of the Naval Air Force Pacific.
Yes, and one thing about it is how was he selected? How did he go through those particular challenges at that time, since he served in the U.S. Navy for 32 years? And the process in which he had to endure this discrimination and maybe racism as well.
Right. And looking also at this parade that we're at, you know that the Veterans Day Parade that we're celebrating today, you know the first national celebration, President Dwight Eisenhower put that into effect. 1938 is when we actually began to celebrate as a national holiday. Now back in 1919, at the end of World War I, we were looking at how, or the country, or all the different countries were looking at how can we end the wars of all wars, because World War I was considered the Great War. And so originally this was called the Armistice Day. And that was supposed to be like a treaties among the different nations where there'd be that moment of peace. Now we know that there was a World War II, so there wasn't quite that moment of peace, but we've been in a peaceful time so far. And so we'll get to show you excerpts of this wonderful parade that is honoring our veterans. And so this day was meant to honor all veterans, all veteran organizations, and the veterans in our family. And all of us have veterans in our families or people that are serving now. So this would be the time to acknowledge that, actually every day,
yes,
keeping our soil safe.
Yes, even in our particular family, we honoring our son. He's in the Navy, in fact, and this is a role model. The Master Chief would be a role model for our son and many other group of young men out there, particularly African-American men out here in the United States. So
we also want to remind people that it's Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month, and that is very important for us to understand what some of the issues with that, because we know that in the African-American community there is definitely a heightened pancreatic cancer, and the problem with pancreatic cancer is that when people find out about it, it's too late.
Yes.
And so we want to be able to talk about those warning signs. And so this is the month that we said we'd really delve into that. And in fact, See Now, Cancer Excludes No One by Villette Farwell, she's having an event that talks about how cancer excludes no one, giving people information. So her group that does this awareness is doing a fundraiser December 5th at the Fresno Soap Co. And there's featured artists, our very own Jewel Riversmith, along with some other artists that we're excited to be a part of.
One of the great singers of Jewel Riversmith, the beautiful voice of Jewel Riversmith. Yeah. We invite everybody to come on there and support this event. It's going to be something that will be informative.
Informative. I think that the key thing is informative, because I don't want to say we shy away from cancer, but I'll say in black families, we don't really look at it as prevalent until it's something going wrong. But there are warning signs ahead of time. There are ways to be able to address preventive methods when we're talking about nutrition. And even when we look at pancreatic cancer, some people say it has to do with alcoholism or cigarette smoking. We talked about that in the last episode.
Yeah, I know a lot of people out there in our audience don't know what pancreatic cancer may be and how it affects your body and how they happen to get it. But this is an awareness month. This is what we are designed here to do, is share with you about the symptoms and what the causes may be, and also the preventive measures that you can take when you're dealing with pancreatic cancer in particular.
And as you look at those signs on the screen, one of the most noticeable signs of pancreatic cancer would be jaundice, seeing the yellowness of the eyes. Also loss of appetite or constant nausea. So it's not just one or two symptoms. It might be combined, and they may not all happen at once. And so abdominal pain was another one. I know my mother had really severe abdominal pain, and so those are some of those severities, which could also be other symptoms of other things. So it's important that you do get checked out by specialists right away if you are having those type of symptoms, especially jaundice. And so those are just some things we want to go over as far as Pancreatic Cancer Awareness Month. And meanwhile, we also want to be let you know that Diabetes Month is also the American Diabetes Month, and it's awareness of that. And there's a higher rate of diabetes. As we know, 30 million people in the United States have diabetes, and 86 million have pre-diabetes. And a lot of these diabetes turns into type 2. In the African American community, that number is heightened considerably.
Well, that's considered because we
Diet?
We don't. Well, one is diet and is being informative. Until you actually have the symptoms and actually dealing with the problem, then that's when you act on it. And a lot of times,
That's
like
when
you
it's
said
too late.
earlier, that it's too late.
Right.
So we're here to inform our audience in the niche community about the information revolving diabetics,
Right.
diabetes.
And I know we also spend a lot of time talking about the preterm birth rate and how that's also awareness of that this month, because there are some things that people should be aware of as far as being avoid that, because they're finding some major disparities as far as in African American communities of those preterm birth rates or those death rates, because a lot of these babies are dying before they even are born. So before that 37-week term of the mother is up, they're dying. And some of these mothers are surprised and asking, how can this be? And so, again, there are preventive measures for that as well.
Well, we know in Fresno, there was a report card of a C rating here.
And we have to work on that, don't we?
We have to work on that. In other areas, we know that it's B's and A rating. Here, I believe it's a 10.3%, if I'm not mistaken, which is very high of the premature babies that have not been born from that. So it's Awareness Week, and we would like to share with you some of the preventive measures that we must take in our community.
So after the break, we're going to be interviewing Master Chief Othan Nate Mondy. And he was the first black Master Chief of the Naval Air Force Pacific. And we will also be looking at excerpts of the Veterans Day Parade here in Fresno, California. You're watching ONME Sunday Mornings. We'll be right back after this short break.
When you have credit card debt, the debt suckers' high rate and high pay are everywhere.
Ooh, they're making another minimum payment. Great. Most of the money goes to us. We'll suck the life out of them.
Because your credit card rates are so high, you can't get rid of the debt suckers alone.
Their minimum payments are in vain. No, that's juicy.
But one call to Consolidated Credit can get the debt suckers off your neck.
Thank you for calling Consolidated Credit.
Oh no, they'll lower his rates and consolidate his bills into one low payment. He'll pay off his debt in no time. Consolidated Credit drives us batty.
Call Consolidated Credit now. Call now and get your life back.
Oh, because debt sucks.
Call now.
Call Consolidated Credit at 1-800-810-0786. That's 1-800-810-0786. Call now.
Hey Fresno, after a great summer of water conservation, our numbers fell the past few months.
And to avoid state fines, we're cutting back to one outdoor watering day per week, starting November 1st.
Odd-numbered addresses water on Saturday and even addresses on Sunday.
Or be a zero hero and stop outdoor watering into the springtime.
Many Fresno landscapes survive on just dew and rainfall all winter long.
So remember, one day is okay, but you can be a hero with zero.
A message from the City of Fresno.
We're just about to get into that interview we were talking about with, of course, Master Chief Othan Nate Mondy. And we're actually here at the Fresno Temple Church of God and Christ under Pastor Miller. And they're having their California State Command Council fourth quarterly meeting. And in fact, we have Dr. Hank Hendricks, who is in charge of the chapter here in this local area. And this meeting is important for them to be able to talk about NAB vets as far as the local chapter and also the California chapter and how to get more veterans involved. Meanwhile, Lennis had an in-depth meeting meeting. We'll have to do a part 1 and part 2. I'll say meeting and interview more so, that really talked about the background of Master Chief Mondy, where he began, his humble beginnings, and how he became Master Chief. So stay tuned. Let's take a look.
When I was first looking at the veteran, and I saw you at the parade, I didn't understand what's a Master Chief. And what the title of Master Chief entails. Everybody say commander, some people say admiral, but Master Chief, we just know it's something important. We know it's valuable. Unless you're in the Navy and in the rank, tell me a little bit of background of the Master Chief.
Number one, he is the know-it-all. The level stops with him. In other words, it's best that I can explain to you. Say the governor of the state, okay? He politically, okay, he's probably raised up from a city councilman up to being a governor, okay? But you are a citizen of the state. So all of a sudden, you're now at the same direct level as the governor, okay? So the governor then has a person like a Master Chief, but you don't know him, okay? He's probably an advisor to the governor to that level. So he tells the governor what the governor needs to do to keep the constituencies of his area really groomed and ready to go. And there was a board in between the seats, and you would move the board as you got on the streetcar, and you had to, as a colored, as you was known at that time, you had to sit behind the screen. So my dad told me, he said, boy, he says, the only thing I can tell you, he said, the system is not fair. He says, one of these days, he said, you're going to take over and you're going to change all that. And I said, man, come on. So when I got about 17, my dad told me, he said, son, he says, you need to get out of here. You know, he said, you need to go somewhere that's going to make a significant difference in the world. So he signed me off to join the Navy. And when I joined the Navy told me, he says, we're going to put you in aviation. And I said, wow, you know, I don't know nothing about aviation. But they did, they put me in. And next thing I knew, I had made E7 in about 7 years, you know. So I said, wow. So they sent me, the Navy then decided to send me to the international school down in Florida to the Defense Race Relations Institute. And I said, well, why the Navy's doing this? So I went through that, and I went through school, and then they finally sent me another set of orders. They said, we want to send you to Stanford. And I said, oh, man, you know, it's going to be a hard road to hoe here. So I went through school, and then the Navy told me, says, okay, we're going to send you to Fort Ord, to the Army. And I said, the Army? Said, yeah, you're going to find out why all these young minorities are coming into the service and whether or not the Navy can use them. And they're not very educated. You know, and I didn't know that the system had changed. And McNamara was at that time the head of the Department of Defense. And they had changed the rules on recruiting individuals who were minorities to go into the various branches of the service, who happened to be Middle Group 4, and that's a classification of individuals who are mentally deprived from being able to do any other jobs than remedial tasks. So at that time, Vietnam was really, really starting to hum, and guys were getting killed like 40 going north, you know? And they sent me over to Fort Ord, and I looked around, and it was kind of sad, because I didn't believe that was really going on. So the young minorities who were coming in had a terrible mental issue. So I walked in this room and they had gun, G-U-N, on this board, you know? And I said, man, that's kind of funny. So I found that these guys couldn't read, they couldn't write. And the Army was training all these guys who were soldiers to read. And I said, oh man, this is a sad scenario. So then the next thing happened. They sent me over to Vietnam, and I was assigned to be assigned a staff sergeant who said, by George this, by George that. And consequently, a lot of the young minorities were being killed. Rather than being killed, I started defragging individuals who were in the service. And they sent a group of delegations to go into Vietnam and determine why so many guys were getting killed and fragged. So I was a part of that delegation. Then from there, the Navy decided to send me again to an operational outfit known as the Human Resource Management Center in the Navy. So I spent 5 years as a consultant for the Navy.
And that was the interview that we had with Master Chief Othan Nate Mondy. And again, he was the very first black Master Chief of Naval Air Force Pacific. And I hope there's a lot we can learn from that interview and be able to let the world know.
Well, first of all,
you can overcome any challenge.
Yeah, first of all, it was a great interview. I enjoyed that role model, Master Chief, and to find out more specifically what a Master Chief was. A lot of our audience really don't know the significance, probably, to what he has achieved in the military here in the United States. So I'm honored and privileged to be able to interview him for this segment.
And you know, this is a membership statewide as far as with the NAB vets and the importance of that. So I'm glad he's able to be able to talk about the importance of that. And we should all be supporting our veterans. And so it was an honor to be able to interview him. After the break, we want to give people an excerpt of the ONME network, talk a little bit about our ONME shopper, letting people know there is a way that you can support black businesses, urban businesses throughout the Central Valley. You're watching ONME Sunday Mornings. We will be right back after a short break.
This is important news for women using birth control medications and devices. If you or a loved one have been diagnosed with a pseudotumor after using one of these birth control drugs or devices, you may be eligible for a cash award and medical expenses. Contact the law firm of Davis & Crump right now if you or a loved one have used one of these birth control medications or devices and were diagnosed with a pseudotumor to see if you are eligible for a cash award and medical expenses. Call now. Operators are standing by.
Hey Fresno, after a great summer of water conservation, our numbers fell the past few months.
And to avoid state fines, we're cutting back to one outdoor watering day per week, starting November 1st.
Odd-numbered addresses water on Saturday and even addresses on Sunday.
Or be a zero hero and stop outdoor watering into the springtime.
Many Fresno landscapes survive on just dew and rainfall all winter long.
So remember, one day is okay, but you can be a hero with zero.
A message from the City of Fresno.
Hey Yanni, 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 hey. Thank you wherever you are.
Welcome back to ONME Sunday Mornings, and we hope that you've gotten a chance to enjoy this special Veterans Day dedication that we have to all veterans that have served here in the United States and are still serving, and so we'd like to honor that. Meanwhile, we want to be able to tell people about the ONME Shopper and the importance of that as we show excerpts of that. And this is something that is showcasing a lot of these African-American and urban shops, mom-and-pop shops, and vendors throughout the Central Valley.
Yes, one of the things is this is a one-stop shop. You can come in and you can go online and you can purchase, and we also have financing available for the ones that cannot afford to pay everything up front. So we have options for you to get whatever items that you want from this shopper.
Right. Great alternative if you want to be able to not spend on a credit card. There also is the option of no credit check financing, because I know people are concerned about that and are definitely cost conscious. So we have cost effective gifts that are on there. There's pies on there. We've got the A&B House of Soul Food. Mm-hmm. We've got Amina's Pies. You can order and actually pick up from Cafe Aroma Coffee House.
And I heard you got the famous hoverboard on there as well.
Right. Now that's not local, but still you can order it online and you can get finance for that. So there is the ONME Personal Shopper for people that want to get financing for that and have us to get those items for them. Meanwhile, we also want to tell you about the ONME network that has been spawning and showcasing the media collaboration throughout the Central Valley. And in fact, you can go to myonme.com to get more information about those different media collaborations. Meanwhile, we want to be able to show you an excerpt that came from Kevin Sheikh Shakir's show and also Valley Black Talk Radio that's hitting on the latest news that is happening in and around our valley. Kevin Sheikh Shakir highlights those artists that are happening in and around our valley. So let's take a look.
Yes.
Get a violation, a traffic violation, it is very important that you not let the time expire if you intend to address it through the court system.
Okay.
And what's really interesting about it is I don't know when this rule change came about, but if you get a speeding ticket.
Okay.
And, or let's not say speeding, let's say something else that has more objectivity to it, if you will. If an officer says you didn't come to a complete stop at a stop sign and you want to contest that, did you know you had to post bail? And the bail would be the full amount of whatever that ticket would be in order for you to take it to court, in order to have...
I don't think I knew that. That's new. That wasn't always like that.
Yeah, I didn't know that either until recently. And then I find out that, you know, well,
that's the whole thing about MyClip TV, GumboTalent.com.
Factions of people to be actually come together and be able to speak and deal with each other on all these different levels.
Right, and that's the same thing with the poetry. I know that you have some poets that come through and they're actually a part of the entertainment show.
We're actually working on there's a young African American girl here in Fresno that
starve myself like Gandhi on behalf of my art. Believe I give you my all, never half of my heart. Breathe for you. Travel millions of miles, I just speed for you. Even overseas with blue. Keep it regional. I had no reason to. Art minus the easel. I'm unbelievable. Fled the coast just to change the climates. Cayman Islands. Puffing aloud till my whole gang was silent. My change pilot, so fly I can change pilots. Campaign wildin', my brain remain clouded. My mind storm when it's time to perform.
Just come from the poorest part. Bright lights, city lights, I gotta make it. This is where it goes down. I just happen to come apart.
So you just got a chance to watch that excerpt of the ONME network, where you can find more information by going to myonme.com. We also like to thank all of our team. You know, we have Don Prayal Martin, people that have really helped us. We also like to thank Kevin Sheikh Shakir, and we have a number of folks that are on the inside that are assisting us with this ONME network.
Yes, it's a great collaborations of all our teams and talents to come together and form this union to where we can all be successful and push this collaboration forward.
And that's for people to be informed of all the different medias from the different black media sources. We thank you for watching this edition of ONME Sunday Mornings. Have a great week.
God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with the light from above. From the mountains to the prairies to the ocean wide with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America.